None of us is perfect. We all have moments when we don't live up to our ideals, but there's a difference between someone with flaws who's doing their best and someone who's relentlessly malicious. It's a sad truth that some people only wish the worst for others and will harm whoever they can. Sometimes this stems from past traumas, other times from personality disorders, but they're people we need to learn to distance ourselves from. Let's embark on a journey to explore the signs that you're dealing with a malicious person, so that none of us walk in darkness without the light of truth and knowledge. The desire for control. The desire for control often masquerades as love or care, skillfully hiding under the cloak of zeal. However, its true face is revealed through jealousy, demands, and restrictions on personal freedom. In relationships, imposing one's will on another person erodes trust and self-esteem, sowing the seeds of suffering and division. In this context, Stoic philosophy offers us an enlightening and transformative perspective. According to this philosophy, true control does not reside in dominating others, but in self-mastery. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, emphasized that there are things we can control, such as our opinions and desires, and others that are beyond our reach, such as the actions and feelings of others. The pursuit of control over what does not belong to us is a source of frustration and suffering. Thus, by focusing on managing our emotions and reactions, we create a more liberated and meaningful life. This path of self-mastery implies accepting and respecting the autonomy of others while protecting ourselves from controlling behaviors that bring pain. When we try to impose our will on those around us, we end up suffocating individuality and creating a hostile environment where freedom of expression is replaced by fear and insecurity. The attempt to shape others according to our own desires often reflects insecurities and the difficulty of dealing with uncertainty. Self-esteem suffers in this process. When someone is subjected to a controlling partner, friend, or family member who constantly questions their decisions and restricts their freedom, they begin to believe that they are not capable of making decisions for themselves, that their voice is irrelevant. The result is a gradual erosion of self-confidence, a loss of identity that can take years to recover. On the other hand, freedom flourishes when we understand that each human being is the owner of their own life, and that true connection arises from mutual respect and acceptance of differences. Liberating oneself from the desire for control is a choice that leads us to healthier and more genuine relationships based on empathy and understanding. Self-reflection is a valuable tool. Ask yourself, am I trying to control others out of fear or insecurity? Recognizing these motivations is the first step in transforming one's own behavior. Accepting that others have the right to make their own choices, even if we do not agree with them, is essential for building healthy relationships. Furthermore, establishing and respecting clear boundaries helps to avoid controlling behaviors, both on our part and on the part of others. Knowing when to say no and valuing one's own freedom is essential. Try to understand the other person's point of view before imposing your opinions. Empathy opens doors to deeper and more constructive dialogue. The practice of Stoic philosophy, focusing on what we can control and accepting what is beyond our reach, brings peace and serenity. Experience the Stoic precept that it is not events that disturb us, but rather what we think about them. By adopting these reflections, we can let go of the desire for control and find satisfaction in the simplicity of mutual respect and acceptance. The desire for control may be tempting, but freeing oneself from it is one of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves and to those we love. The mask of charm. Charm can captivate and deceive, hiding selfish motives behind seductive facades. Often its presence is enchanting, engaging, and somewhat hypnotic. However, not all charm is innocent. Genuine charm arises from kindness and sincerity, while deceitful charm is a tool of manipulation. People who use charm to gain personal benefits often expect favors in return or exploit their relationships. Superficial charm can easily entangle those who do not look carefully, making them easy prey for deceptive intentions. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on reason and mental clarity, encourages us to observe carefully and question intentions. Epictetus reminds us that we must be vigilant, examining with discernment the character of those around us. By practicing mindfulness and remaining conscious, we can distinguish between authenticity and manipulation. Deceptive charm often comes with vague promises, excessive compliments, and an unusual willingness to please. People with such characteristics often seek to control situations, manipulating others to achieve their own goals. This type of behavior can be particularly harmful in intimate or professional relationships, where trust is essential. On the other hand, genuine charm is a natural expression of kindness and respect. It does not seek favors in return, nor does it exploit vulnerabilities. It arises from a sincere desire to do good and share joy. The difference between the two lies in intentions and subsequent behaviors. By remaining vigilant and valuing autonomy, we can see beyond the dazzling exterior and protect ourselves from manipulation. Autonomy is a fundamental value that helps us maintain our freedom and independence. By recognizing signs of manipulation, we strengthen our boundaries and stand firm in our convictions. Careful observation also helps us develop healthier relationships, choosing partners, friends, and colleagues who share our values and treat us with respect. Being wary of excessive charm and cultivating a skeptical attitude towards excessive praise can help us identify manipulative patterns before they become harmful. Practicing Stoicism in this context involves cultivating self-mastery and reason, allowing our actions to be guided by wisdom and prudence. We must remain vigilant not to be seduced by sweet words that hide dishonest intentions. Instead, by observing attentively and questioning discerningly, we can avoid manipulation and build relationships based on trust and authenticity. The mask of charm may be seductive, but seeing beyond it is crucial to protect ourselves and maintain our integrity. After all, true beauty lies not in the dazzling facade, but in the sincerity of intentions and the kindness of hearts. The absence of empathy. The absence of empathy is a sign of a malicious person, often reflected in disregard for the well-being of others. Whether in the workplace or in personal relationships, individuals who prioritize short-term gains over basic human needs create a toxic and oppressive environment. The lack of consideration for others' feelings manifests through indifference, insensitivity, and exploitation, eroding trust and destroying collective spirit. However, Stoic philosophy provides tools to confront these challenges calmly, emphasizing self-awareness and patience. According to Seneca, it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that they are difficult. In other words, the challenge of maintaining empathy amid its absence is not an impossible task, but it requires courage, determination, and a sense of purpose. The practice of Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control our reactions to them. By choosing our reactions wisely, we can uphold our moral values and contribute to a compassionate world. Self-awareness is crucial in this process. Identifying when we are being affected by others' lack of empathy allows us to make informed decisions about how to respond. Patience, another Stoic virtue, helps us confront toxic behaviors with serenity. Instead of impulsively reacting to hostility or indifference, we can reflect on the nature of actions and their underlying motivations. Often the lack of empathy stems from insecurities, fears, and traumatic experiences. Understanding this enables us to develop a more compassionate approach without sacrificing our own boundaries. To uphold our moral values, we need to actively practice empathy, even when it is not reciprocated. Showing understanding and kindness, even in the face of adversity, reinforces our commitment to integrity. However, this does not mean tolerating abusive or harmful behaviors. Establishing clear and assertive boundaries is crucial to protect ourselves and promote a healthy environment. Self-awareness helps us discern when it is appropriate to distance ourselves from toxic situations. Keeping away from people and environments lacking empathy can be an effective way to preserve our mental and emotional health. Stoic philosophy reminds us that our time is limited and we should spend it wisely. The absence of empathy can be demoralizing, but it should not discourage us from cultivating compassion and respect. By practicing calmness and patience, we can respond to toxicity with moral fortitude, refusing to be drawn into the cycle of cynicism and selfishness. Every small act of kindness has the potential to generate a positive impact, inspiring others to follow suit. Thus, the quest for a more compassionate world begins within us. By choosing empathy and patience as our guiding principles, we confront malice with moral steadfastness, maintaining hope that over time, our light may shine in the darkness of indifference. If you've made it this far and are enjoying our content, please help our channel by leaving a comment and giving this video a like, just like you found your way here. This will help it reach more people and potentially change someone else's life. Also, share it on your social media if you think it could help others. Gratitude. And let's keep going. The web of lies. The web of lies is carefully woven by pathological liars who use falsehood as a tool for power and control, constantly changing their narratives to manipulate others. These lies create a toxic work environment, undermining trust, productivity, and human relationships. The sneaky nature of these individuals causes the truth to be distorted to the point of being lost in a fog of deceit. For the Stoics, the pursuit of truth is essential for a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that our goal should be to escape the ranks of the insane, remaining firm in truth and wisdom. Stoicism teaches us to respond calmly and objectively, not allowing emotions to cloud our perception. Lies, regardless of their intention, cause deep and lasting harm. However, by facing such deceit with rationality and balance, we become capable of exposing falsehood and defending honesty. When dealing with pathological liars, collecting evidence is an effective approach to unmasking manipulation. Gathering facts, recording events, and documenting conversations can provide us with a solid arsenal to confront the lie. However, this confrontation should be done with rationality, avoiding emotional confrontations that may further fuel the web of lies. Honesty is a fundamental value that must be cultivated daily. The courage to tell the truth, even when uncomfortable, helps build an environment of trust and transparency. When lies are exposed, truth can prevail and restore the integrity of the environment. We must, therefore, defend honesty firmly, not allowing manipulations to distort our morality. However, dealing with manipulation also requires emotional resilience. Repeated lies can lead us to question our own sanity and perspective, especially when the liar tries to invert reality. Stoic philosophy encourages us to seek mental clarity and self-awareness, distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. By not allowing lies to disturb us emotionally, we maintain our serenity and impartial judgment. Remaining steadfast in truth is an act of courage. When facing pathological liars, we risk being the target of retaliation, but we must not allow fear to silence us. Truth is a beacon that illuminates even the darkest shadows of manipulation, and our determination to protect it can inspire others to do the same. Stoic wisdom invites us to practice calmness in the face of lies and manipulations, maintaining our moral integrity. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflects on the importance of remaining true to oneself. Do not let the malice of others prevent you from acting with honesty. These words echo with timeless wisdom, reminding us that by resisting the web of lies, we are defending truth and wisdom. Mastery of manipulation. Manipulators are often masters of deceit, using subtle tactics such as flattery and false empathy to control their victims. Their methods range from calculated compliments to gestures suggesting understanding and support, all with the aim of gaining others' trust to achieve their own interests. At first glance, these behaviors may seem genuine and harmless, but behind the mask lies the intention to manipulate and control. Stoicism, as a practical and profound philosophy, offers valuable tools to protect ourselves from manipulation. It advocates self-awareness and meditation as means to cultivate emotional and mental resilience. The practice of self-mastery, as taught by Seneca, invites us to recognize our feelings and examine them without allowing them to dominate us. Thus, we can identify manipulative patterns before being ensnared in the web of deceit. Deceptive individuals can leave deep psychological scars, destroying trust and relationships. Victims often experience feelings of confusion, shame, and loss of identity, as manipulation can distort their perceptions of reality. Trust in people and oneself is undermined, resulting in a painful cycle of distrust and isolation. However, by seeking virtue and courage within ourselves, we strengthen ourselves against deceit. Epictetus teaches us that it is not events but our judgments about them that disturb us. This distinction encourages us to nurture virtues that lead to freedom and peace, allowing us to respond to deceit with calmness and rationality. By clearly discerning the signs of manipulation, we avoid becoming victims of lies and remain steadfast in our convictions. Daily meditation and self-reflection can be powerful allies in strengthening our discernment. Ask yourself, why am I accepting this praise? Or, does this person really care about me, or are they trying to manipulate me? These questions help detect the hidden intentions behind words and gestures. Establishing clear and assertive boundaries is another essential tool. We should not hesitate to say no or question behaviors that make us uncomfortable. This not only protects us from manipulators, but also reinforces our autonomy and dignity. Honesty with oneself is crucial to maintain a clear view of our needs and goals. Mastery of manipulation is a real challenge and can catch us off guard. However, by remaining vigilant and nurturing virtues such as courage, discernment, and resilience, we can protect ourselves and keep our integrity intact. Stoic wisdom reminds us that true freedom lies in our ability to choose our responses, regardless of external circumstances. Discovering your true nature. In our diverse world, it's crucial to recognize and shield ourselves from those with harmful intentions. Though not always easy to spot at first glance, Stoicism offers valuable tools for discerning the traits of malice that manifest in subtle ways, such as insincerity in communication, the tendency to shift blame, lack of empathy, abuse of power, and excessive self-love. Malicious individuals are often adept at manipulating situations to their advantage, distorting the truth and masking their intentions with sweet words. Lack of sincerity in communication is revealed when their actions don't match the promises made or when compliments are given with the aim of gaining favors. We must be cautious in accepting seemingly innocent gestures and words, questioning their underlying motivations. Another telling sign is the tendency to shift blame. Individuals with harmful intentions rarely take responsibility for their mistakes, preferring to blame others to protect their own reputations. This attitude not only damages relationships, but also creates an atmosphere of distrust and resentment. The absence of empathy is equally concerning. When someone fails to recognize or value others' feelings and needs, Their actions are guided solely by self-interest, ignoring the impact they may have on others. This behavior is particularly harmful in personal relationships and the workplace, where trust and collaboration are crucial. Abuse of power is another unmistakable sign. Those who seek to control others through manipulation or intimidation, using their status or position of authority to dominate, create a toxic and oppressive environment. Stoic philosophy teaches us to value autonomy and dignity, rejecting any form of subjugation. Finally, excessive self-love can be a revealing clue to a person's true nature. When the desire for self-aggrandizement outweighs consideration for others, selfishness becomes the driving force behind their actions, leading to disrespect and exploitation. By understanding these traits, we can build healthier relationships while incorporating humility and empathy. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate virtues that promote a harmonious and meaningful life, such as honesty, courage, and compassion. By adopting a stance of self-awareness and reflection, we can identify our own inclinations toward harmful behaviors and correct them before they cause harm. Applying Stoic lessons leads us to a happier and more meaningful life, grounded in moral integrity. Epictetus reminds us that it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Humility is thus an essential step towards self-reflection and growth. Accepting our flaws and working to overcome them makes us more empathetic toward others, recognizing that everyone faces internal struggles. If you're enjoying this, don't miss out on the opportunity. Purchase the ebook now, Stoicism in the 21st Century, Ancient Strategies for Modern Challenges, and unlock your prosperity, abundance, and improve your relationships with this ebook. Link in the pinned comment. False communication. False communication is often employed by ill-intentioned individuals who artificially appear excessively friendly and caring, using sweet words as a tool to mask their true nature. Exaggerated compliments and forced sympathy can confuse the unsuspecting, but behind this charming facade often lie hidden intentions. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of sincerity and transparency in interactions, providing a moral beacon to navigate these treacherous waters. Epictetus advised that words be used with precision and consciousness, highlighting that first we must learn the meaning of words and then use them properly. For Stoics, communication should be a natural extension of integrity and virtues. Observing whether someone's actions match their words can be revealing. Someone who promises much but acts little, or whose actions contradict their words, may be masking their true nature. Empty praises, exaggerated offers of help, and forced sympathy are clear signs of manipulation. Stoic sincerity invites us to cultivate authenticity in our words and actions. Seneca reminds us that we should be devoted to truth, no matter the cost, emphasizing that honesty is an indelible mark of a virtuous life. To protect ourselves from false communication, we must observe attentively, questioning motivations and maintaining self-control. Ask yourself why someone is being excessively friendly. Are they seeking something in return? Are they trying to gain your favor for personal purposes? Furthermore, cultivating authentic relationships is crucial. Relationships based on trust and mutual respect are the best defense against falsehood. By incorporating Stoic transparency, we serve as an example of authenticity and reinforce our moral integrity. Therefore, when confronted with sweet words disconnected from reality, let us remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The best revenge is to be unlike them." Be true to yourself, cultivate sincerity, and resist false communication with courage and integrity. Blaming others, habit. A striking trait of malevolent individuals is how rarely they accept responsibility for their own actions. Instead, they tend to blame other people or circumstances. This blame shifting is a strategy used to avoid accountability, maintaining an appearance of infallibility and projecting an image of victimhood or martyrdom. Stoic philosophy emphasizes control over what we can and acceptance of what we cannot control, always taking responsibility for our actions. Epictetus reminds us that we should focus on what is within our reach and accept with serenity what escapes our control. This principle promotes honesty and self-awareness, helping us identify our flaws and learn from them. However, those who blame others for their mistakes avoid this self-reflection, preferring to project their faults onto others. This can create a toxic environment, undermining trust and damaging relationships. Recognizing blame shifting can help identify these individuals and protect oneself against their harmful attitudes. To do this, it is important to observe behavioral patterns. Individuals who constantly blame colleagues, friends, or circumstances for their own failures often avoid responsibility, creating distorted narratives to justify their actions. For example, they may attribute a work error to lack of support from colleagues or to a flawed system while ignoring their own negligence. Stoicism teaches us to practice responsibility by acknowledging our mistakes and learning from them. When we own up to our failures, we demonstrate courage and sincerity, strengthening our moral integrity. Furthermore, by being aware of our limitations, we gain clarity to distinguish between what we can change and what is beyond our control. When dealing with individuals who avoid responsibility, we can apply Stoic teachings practically. First, it is important to establish clear boundaries to prevent blame from being projected onto you. Be firm in your convictions and do not allow others to manipulate your perception of reality. Maintaining serenity is crucial. Do not get swept away by others' distorted narratives. Use reason to discern the facts clearly. The practice of self-awareness is equally essential. Recognize your own flaws and work to overcome them. This not only reinforces your integrity, but also serves as an example to others. Additionally, observe if the person consistently avoids responsibility and if there is a pattern of blame shifting. If so, take steps to protect your mental and emotional health. Promote honesty. Cultivate transparency and sincerity in your relationships, encouraging others to take responsibility for their actions. Lack of empathy. A clear sign of a malicious person is the inability to emotionally connect with others. They do not genuinely care about the emotions or needs of the people around them, focusing only on their own interests. Lack of empathy is a behavior that can seriously harm relationships, whether in the workplace or in personal life, creating toxic and harmful environments. The Stoics emphasize empathy as a fundamental moral value. Seneca encourages us to treat inferiors as we would like to be treated by superiors, highlighting the importance of acting with compassion regardless of our position. Empathy, therefore, is not only an individual virtue, but also a catalyst for stronger and healthier relationships. Identifying lack of empathy helps to avoid toxic relationships. People who cannot emotionally connect with others tend to manipulate situations for their own benefit, often ignoring the impact of their actions on those around them. They minimize or disregard others' needs, becoming unable to offer emotional support or understanding. To identify lack of empathy, pay attention to certain revealing signs. Individuals who focus exclusively on themselves, who rarely show genuine interest in others, and who disregard others' concerns may be displaying clear signs of this deficiency. Additionally, observe how they react to others' suffering. A person lacking empathy tends to respond with indifference or minimize what others are going through. Stoicism provides us with tools to deal with this type of behavior. Firstly, maintaining serenity is essential. Do not let others' lack of empathy affect you emotionally. Use reason to discern the nature of people and take steps to protect your mental and emotional health. Furthermore, practice empathy yourself. By acting with compassion and respect, you reinforce your own values and create a positive atmosphere around you. This can inspire others to do the same and promote a culture of empathy. Abuse of power. Malevolent individuals often seek to control and wield power over others, potentially abusing their position to impose control or harm others. They manipulate and exploit to satisfy their own ambitions, often leaving a trail of destruction and suffering. This abuse of power is visible in various spheres, whether in the workplace, in personal relationships, or in institutions. Stoicism encourages the wise use of power for the common good, not for oppression or domination. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest representatives and also the Emperor of Rome, wielded great power, yet always strove to rule with justice and humility. He wrote in his Meditations about the importance of acting with virtue, even in the highest positions. The best defense against unjust actions is to behave justly oneself. For Stoics, true power is not in controlling others, but in mastering oneself. Power should be used with wisdom, compassion, and integrity, benefiting not only the individual, but the entire community. Epictetus reminds us that no man is free if he is not master of himself. Thus, mastery over our own actions and emotions is the highest type of power we can aspire to. Recognizing abuses of power helps protect our autonomy and resist unjust impositions. By identifying signs of manipulation and domination, we can distance ourselves from these toxic situations and protect our integrity. Clear signs of abuse of power include excessive control, intimidation and fear, exploitation, and nepotism. Establishing clear boundaries to protect our autonomy is crucial. Do not allow others to impose their will upon you, and stand firm in your convictions and values. True leadership inspires others to develop and thrive, promoting an environment of trust and respect. Compassionate and virtuous leadership recognizes the importance of each individual in the community, valuing their contributions and encouraging their growth. Stoicism teaches us to maintain calmness and rationality when dealing with situations of abuse of power. Use reason to discern the nature of events and respond with prudence. Epictetus advises that we should focus on what we can control and accept what is beyond our reach with serenity. When faced with abuses of power, let us remember the words of Seneca. It is not the position that makes the man, but the man who makes the position. Maintain your integrity, establish boundaries, and use your own power with wisdom and compassion. After all, the pursuit of balance between leadership and humility leads us to a life of virtue and meaning. Excessive self-love. Excessive self-love can make a person selfish and indifferent to the interests or emotions of others. People with this characteristic prioritize their own gain above all else and do not hesitate to trample on others to achieve their goals. They construct a reality centered around themselves, ignoring the impact their actions have on others, which leads to the erosion of relationships and emotional isolation. Excessive self-admiration is counterproductive, as it distorts one's perception of reality and prevents the individual from seeing beyond their own immediate needs. This behavior often results in manipulation, exploitation, and disregard for others' feelings. Recognizing this imbalance is the first step in cultivating healthy and meaningful relationships. Finding a balance between self-love and empathy is essential. Stoicism does not advocate for the complete abandonment of self-love, but rather the need to balance it with empathy. Seneca advises us to treat others as we would like to be treated, reminding us that true happiness comes from the harmony between our actions and the universal values of justice and kindness. Practicing humility allows us to see our flaws and recognize our limitations, encouraging us to improve and grow. By placing the interests of the community above personal gains, we reinforce our moral integrity and promote an environment of respect and collaboration. This, in turn, fosters more authentic relationships based on trust and mutual support. To find this balance, consider the following practices. Firstly, self-awareness is crucial. Reflect on your actions and ask yourself if they benefit only you or if they also help others. Active empathy is equally important. Practice listening to others attentively and put yourself in their shoes before making decisions. Additionally, serving the community can help you develop a broader view of the common good. Engage in activities that promote collective well-being, remembering that every small gesture can make a difference. Gratitude is another valuable practice. Value the contributions of others and recognize the importance of each person on your journey. Lastly, humility is essential. Accept your flaws and be willing to learn from them, always seeking to improve. Thus, by balancing self-love with empathy, we avoid falling into the trap of selfishness and indifference. Let us remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "What is good for the beehive is good for the bee." By incorporating Stoic principles of humility and community service, we cultivate healthier and more meaningful relationships, building a life of virtue and purpose. Recognizing and acting against malevolent individuals is an essential skill that Stoic philosophy teaches us. By applying its principles of self-control, acceptance, and moral living, we confront challenges while avoiding negative influences. Have you encountered these signs? Share your experiences and continue seeking strength and peace through Stoic principles. Subscribe for more insights and live according to Stoic values as you journey towards inner tranquility.